How many times must I tell you? Anthony Joshua, he's finished. Finish him. It's over. Bad news. Hall of Fame promoter Bob Arum says that Joshua, age 34, he's finished. He also includes Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder from, oh my God, Tuscaloosa, Alabama. To this day, he says they are both done. Like, basically he's saying that they're washed. He did a brand new interview with Fight Hub, and Bob Arum says, and I quote, "No, you don't have an off night getting out of you that way. I just think Anthony Joshua has been through a lot of wars. I think it's over for him as well as it's over for Deontay Wilder." He goes on to say maybe they can fight each other. That would be good. Listen, I don't know. It's hard because it's the heavyweight division, which is slightly different than other divisions. Like, we've seen a 40-year-old George Foreman, you know, beat a younger Michael Moore. You know, you've seen guys like James Toney move all the way up and beat Evander Holyfield. So ain't no real telling in the heavyweight division. However, I would say that Joshua and Wilder both are not in prime, and that's evident from their most recent performances. I think for Wilder, he tried to late in the game, after coming up short in 2 of the 3 Tyson Fury fights, he tried to switch up his style. Then you drop shook one, switch your demeanor. Well, we don't believe you, need more peep, right? Wilder, he tried to switch up things, and I think it really kind of took Wilder out of his element of what he does well. I think Wilder at his best is an apex predator. He uses the power, he uses that right hand, and he made guys fearful. But in boxing, when you lose that X factor, then it becomes a bit different. Be it age, maybe guys don't want to pull the trigger after a tough loss, different reasons, but it kind of changes. I mean, we know that Wilder, he was never the most technically proficient Pernell Whitaker style fight. So I think late in the game, trying to switch up and box more and be more patient, I just don't think that serves him well. And I think his natural style is extremely dangerous, especially as you get older, because it relied on a bit more aggression as opposed to finesse, but it was getting the job done. But now he lost to Joseph Parker virtually every round, probably. It looked like he got hurt in that fight. Then he gets knocked out by Zelle, who's like this big 300-pound dude, and they were already making plans for Wilder versus Jared Big Baby Anderson and things like that. So it kind of messed up his future paydays. Now he's also going through things like problems at home or whatnot with a major celebrity split up and breakup with his longtime girlfriend, Telly, Telly Swift. So I don't know, at this point, I don't know how much each fighter has left. As far as Joshua, I think Joshua, truthfully, he has never been the same after Andy Ruiz fight. I feel like some guys are like that. When they're winning, but then when they lose and it's like an embarrassing loss, because Joshua, he came to America, first fight in America, and he got slapped up and dropped a gang of times. He was on all fours, no Diddy, and no baby oil, no Diddy, you did. And Joshua, it just was an embarrassing American debut. And there was a million memes, and DAZN posted it, and it got millions of views on their YouTube. Everyone seen the highlight. No one wanted to be highlight reeled or part of someone's highlight reel. So I feel like Joshua already had certain psychological things that kind of held him back. However, I think it became more pronounced. Like when you're winning, and you don't really need to change much. You see what I'm saying? Like if you're winning, even if you're doing things that are broken, it's just like, hey, like just imagine being at a job, and let's say you're a mechanic, let's say you're an auto mechanic. You could be doing something that is not the way you're supposed to do, but it's kind of getting the job done. So you keep doing it the broken way. But then if you had, like, let's say a regional manager, and then they're coming and inspecting everybody, and then they see how you're doing it, and you're skipping steps, and you're not, let's say it's an oil change and you're not like draining out the existing oil, or you're skipping a step or omitting a step because you're lazy, then you're going to get found out. You see what I'm saying? So I think Joshua early on, like he had an oh-ish moment with Vladimir Klitschko. However, it kind of didn't matter because in the Klitschko fight, he came through it and he was victorious. So he was able to still keep, like, he won. I mean, winning is winning. So you don't sit in those moments as much when you come out as the winner. So I think Joshua was able to keep his head high. But after Andy Ruiz, he looked like he had PTSD and he was very unsure of himself. Another bad sign for Joshua to me, and I've always said this, is I don't like when a fighter switches trainers several times. That is not a good look at all. And I think Joshua would have been better suited not being with Rob McCracken from the jump, coming to America and staying with Derrick James. Like, I'm talking about when he's like 15-0, make the trip to America, move out here, and then get with the Derrick James or whoever and learn with them and build with them. But he didn't do that. Instead, what he did do was he tried to adapt later on, because initially Joshua was stubborn and he was like, Rob McCracken, it's me, it's Matt, bro. I'm gonna stay with Rob. I started with Rob, so I gotta stay with Rob, right? And then you were robbing yourself of the education. And then after you lose, like most fighters, they wait till they catch a vicious L or get knocked out like Amir Khan. Then he gets with Virgil Hunter. You would have been better instead of being with Freddie Roach from the beginning and just he's teaching you offense and you having sparring wars with Manny Pacquiao. I believe, right? You would have probably been better off starting with Virgil Hunter so he could work with you and give you some more on the defensive side, which is what Khan needed, lacking a chin. So for Joshua, that's kind of where I see it. I think Joshua is in between a rock and a hard spot. I don't know if Wilder and Joshua can happen, but to me, the fight is like Amir Khan and Kell Brook, a fight that was in heavy demand, but this was when they were undefeated fighters. It could have been for undisputed, but I believe Joshua and Eddie Hearn dropped the ball, lowballed Wilder, and then they end up losing other fights to other people, Zhang and Fury for Wilder. Joshua end up losing to Ruiz, end up losing to Usyk twice, end up losing now recently by stoppage to Daniel Dubois. And now it's like a Kell Brook, Amir Khan type of fight of, yeah, I guess I'll watch it, but it definitely does not hold the same weight and the same luster that it once could have, which is a shame. Boxing always does this, or oftentimes there's a great fight like Victor Ortiz and Brandon Rios. That was a prime fight back in the day, but you wait, don't strike while the iron's hot. And then guess what? Now the ship has sailed and you've missed that boat to even make the fight. Who cares if they were to fight now? Like Victor Ortiz is inactive. He doesn't look like he's in the same shape. He's fighting on Floyd undercards and for exhibitions in Mexico. Like, it's just not the same fight. And I think that's the same thing with Joshua Wilder. Let me know what you guys think. I'm the best in the business, and it's not even close.